So this is a really interesting topic that just came up in Sync Academy, and I wanted to make a video about it because I think it is probably a common thought or just a curiosity that a lot of you guys might have about how in depth, how detailed, how high quality do you really have to focus on making your tracks to make a full-time income with sync licensing. So one of the members in Sync Academy pointed out, and it's very true, that he had noticed a couple of placements on TV were from very repetitive, loopy, basic tracks, like, 4 bars, and it was playing the same melody, the same beat, the same little rhythm, whatever it was. And it was just repeating for like a minute straight, and it wasn't really going anywhere. And so he was like, well, I hear that this can happen because I can hear it on TV shows or commercials, wherever I'm hearing it, probably more like TV shows. So do I really need to worry so much about the structure of my tracks and constantly building them and moving forward when I hear some evidence that, just having like a really cool sounding beat that might repeat a lot is pretty much all it takes to succeed in this business. So what am I worrying so much about diving into building my tracks and getting the formula right, getting the structure right, and having my track really kind of take the listener on a long 2 to 3 minute long journey? Why even worry about any of that stuff, right? So not a bad question. I totally understand the reasoning why you would be curious about that. Let me point out though in this video why that is not a good idea and why it's going to actually kind of hurt you in the long run. First of all, when you are putting your tracks together, you need to always keep in mind and remember the fact that you're not the only person who has a copy and paste function on your computer. Everybody has a copy and paste function on their computer. And this is especially true for audio editors and video editors who might take your track and put it into a TV show. So you've got a great, awesome 2-minute long track. You've got a verse, a chorus, a second verse that's different, a second chorus that's different from the first chorus, a bridge, and then a final chorus that's the biggest of all. So your track is constantly building and it has all this variation in it, right? Well, that editor more than likely is not going to just place that 2-minute track as it is into their TV show, because chances are the way that you've structured your track and the edits you have and the builds and everything like that, it's not going to fit perfectly behind their reality TV show. I mean, they're going to have a different timing, a different pacing. They might have a long dialogue going on for like 4 minutes long before something happens, so they don't need a lot of crescendos and things going on. They just need to kind of set the tone for 4 minutes or whatever. So they take your track and they say, wow, this verse is really awesome. And they might even just like 4 bars of your track, of your verse, right? So they just take this one little section of it and they think, this is great. It's setting the tone. It's in the background. It's not distracting from this. It's just perfect for this scene. I'm actually just going to copy and paste these 4 bars over and over and over again, maybe for a minute and a half until there's a little increase in the intensity of the scene. Then we're going to go to the second half of the chorus and we're going to copy and paste that. Or maybe the chorus is actually going to be perfect for that second half of the scene. So we're going to take just that chorus part and we're going to copy and paste it. And maybe in the middle of that, we want to even boost it up a little bit more. So we're going to take that third chorus and prop it in there. They are basically going to be Frankensteining your track all over the place to make sure that it fits their scene. So when I hear people that are noticing this kind of stuff going on TV, I need you to know that that is more than likely, I can't give you a 100% guarantee, but I would say 90% chance that that is what you're hearing. You're not hearing a single track that was just looped for a minute long and sent to a library and it happened to be placed just exactly how it is. More than likely what you're hearing is just a snippet of a full track, and they're taking what they need from that track and placing it exactly how they need to. And the reason why you want to include the different variations in the structure of your track so that you have these different versions of your verses and choruses and all that kind of stuff. The reason why you want to have all of that is because you're giving the editor or the music supervisor, whoever's in charge of placing the music, options. That's the key word right there, options. They have, in one song, a 2-minute song, they might have 6 different sections, 7 different sections that they can choose from and say, we like the vibe, we like the style of this, and we have all these different variations of this emotion that's packed into this 2-minute long track. So what do we need for this particular scene? Well, we need this verse section. Okay, so I'm going to take one part of your track, put it here. Then we need this part. So you're basically giving them 7 different tracks, essentially, with your one track. That's what you're doing when you create the forward momentum. That's what you're doing when you create the different structure, right? And you have different variations from your sections as you repeat them. And you're not just Cool, I got 4 bars, copy and paste, copy and paste. That's the lazy producer way. That's what you do usually. Maybe I shouldn't call it lazy, it's kind of a negative way, but when you're maybe making beats for a singer or a rapper to get on top, you probably don't have to worry so much about that stuff because you know that the rapper is going to be basically carrying the track forward because their lyrics and their story is going to be creating that captivation to keep the listener engaged, even if the beat is repeating, forever, basically for a long time in a verse or something like that. But when you're doing purely instrumental music, which is what probably a lot of you guys are doing, you don't have the luxury of having a vocalist carry that for you. You do need to make sure that instrumentally you are keeping that that focus and that energy moving forward, so that you're not getting stagnant and you're not getting too loopy. Okay. In the coming maybe next week, I'm going to put up a video showing you actually one of my really not so great rock tracks that I produced way early on in my career that ended up actually getting a Taco Bell commercial. And it's not like a terrible, awful in terms of like it's super repetitive and super basic and not a great song. I think it has some cool riffs and some cool energy. It's just not like at the level that I'm at obviously right now. But I wanted to sort of play that for you because it kind of connects to this topic in that it was basically one of the last rock tracks that I put onto an album, and it wasn't something that I spent a lot of time thinking about. I really just sort of rushed it and threw it on there, and it ended up becoming a national Jack in the Box commercial placement, which is ridiculous because it's not even close to what I thought that track could possibly do. But in this video, I'm going to show you this commercial, I'm going to show you the track, the original track, and all that kind of stuff. But I really want to, in that video, show you why, even though that worked out great, that didn't have me lower my bar and expectations for the style and the quality of music that I produce. So got lucky with that one. Right place at the right time was really cool. But it didn't mean that I just go, okay, well, screw it. I'll just forget about improving my tracks. I'll just do basic who cares stuff because those get placements too. So it's very connected to this. I won't get into the whole story, but I'll definitely share that with you guys. Stay tuned. It's definitely going to come probably next week. So hope you guys stick around for that one.